Hey guys, Coach Pippin here from Pippin Performance, and welcome to the Fit Project, your weekly workout designed to help you be strong, be mobile. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel below to get the latest workouts as they're posted. Chris is joining me here for today's workout, which is all about improving our mobility required for golf. If you really want to be able to reach your golf potential, you need to be able to rotate almost everything in the human body. Your swing capability mostly comes from your thoracic and hip rotation, so that's what we're going to work on today. The only thing you're going to need for today's workout is something to lean up against and a chair or a bench. Today's workout includes lumbar cars, thoracic peel-offs, shoulder cars with a hinge, seated thoracic rotation, and 99 to bare movement pattern. Alright guys, let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have you guys lay down flat on your back. We're going to get into our lumbar car. So we're going to pull our feet about a foot away from our butt. So our knees are almost at 90 degrees. We're going to put our hands right on our chest. And now we're going to slowly start to think about rolling the pelvis back and forth. Now, this is called a lumbar car because we're really trying to attack those lumbar vertebrae. We want to get all of those guys to move individually. So the first round we're going to do it laying flat on our back, and the second round we're going to do it from a hinged position so you guys can kind of feel that pattern. So the first thing we're going to think about is imagine you have a weight scale underneath your lower back. And we want to roll the top of our pelvis down and back so we're crushing that weight scale. We're going to pause there, and now we're going to slowly try to pick up one vertebrae at a time as our top of our pelvis starts to roll toward our knees. So now when you get to the end of this range, you should have a nice gap in your lower back. Once you get to that end range, pause. Probably the first time you've ever been there, it's going to feel a little stretch. Don't go to a skittish area, just feel comfortable. And now slowly start to roll it back the other direction. We're just going to go 5 each way. But this should take you a little bit of time because I want you to explore every little range that your vertebrae can do. And the reason why we do this, guys, this is the only way we get blood flow into our lumbar. So we get these little vertebrae, if we sit there with those guys stuck all day, you're not getting blood flow in. But when you start to roll it back and forth, it's like you're pumping blood flow in there, and that's how we kind of get rid of that arthritic back that's so common when we see in our x-rays. Nice and smooth. So the reason we have our hands on our chest is sometimes if we go into too much rotation, you'll start to feel your chest and your thoracic cage start to hinge a little bit, and we just want to isolate this all to this little area right here. So this is sometimes a good idea when you first wake up in the morning before you even get out of bed, especially if you've had back pain in your history. Just do some lumbar cars, nice and easy, get good blood flow in there, gets everything nice and warmed up before you roll out of bed. Good, let's go the other direction. Now we're only having you guys do 5 here for demonstration purposes, but I mean honestly you guys can do 10, 20, or 30 of these almost every single day and your back's going to thank you for it. So the last one, roll it down, get it good nice and tucked, crush that weight scale underneath your lower back. Excellent. Come back up this other direction, feel that nice stretch running down your lower back. Excellent. Alright, we're going to come on up. So now we're going to take it to the wall. So we're going to do what we call a thoracic peel-off. So the point of this drill is to teach us how to gain comfort in this thoracic flexion. And you might be wondering, like, why would we want to promote that when people got such bad posture? But when you sit there with bad posture, you're just kind of hanging out here. You're not actually controlling this. But in this position is where all our rotation comes from, which is what we're going to get into in a little bit. But we need to learn how to control thoracic flexion. So we're going to start with our butt up on the wall. You can have your feet a couple inches off. You're going to give yourself a big hug. Tuck your chin a little bit, and you're going to think like you're slowly peeling off one vertebrae at a time until you get to right around your rib cage. So we're going to have Chris hop on the wall. Like I said, about 6 inches away with your feet. You're going to lean back. So first, put your hands on your shoulders and pull those shoulders down. We don't want to be in shrug mode. We want to be nice and down. Imagine you got a tennis ball in between your chin and your chest. So tuck that chin a little bit. Good, right there. Don't let this distance change. Now we're going to start by trying to peel off that top vertebrae right below your neck. He's going to pause there. You should start to feel a little stretch running down your spine. And now we're going to go a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. Now we're going to pause right there. So we're pausing here because the very bottom right here, his ribs, that's still in contact. He's thinking about driving that into the wall. And now we're going to keep pushing it back, and now we're going to go back up. We're going to go 1. So he's crushing my finger, then I'm going to go up 1 vertebrae. He's crushing that finger, going up, and going up. And this may look very, very simple, guys, but trust me, when you get down here, you've probably never done this before, you're gonna feel almost like you're lost in space. Go nice and slow, and now let's come back down. Little quick tip here, whatever vertebrae is on the wall, think like you're pushing that thing actively in the wall. So, I mean, he's being very active here. We're constantly thinking we're pushing, 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 get to where he feels safe, and then we're gonna slowly come back up. The slower you can go here, guys, the better off. You're gonna develop more control and definitely way more awareness here. Good, that's 2. We're gonna get 3 more, guys, nice and smooth. Obviously keep breathing while you're doing this. Nice and smooth. It almost kind of looks like we're doing a crunch from the floor, right? So those old school kind of crunches we used to do, it's kind of the same concept. Or using gravity to kind of help pull us down in that position, give us a little bit more control. Good, let's get 2 more. So sometimes when I'm coaching this, I try to think like I'm helping them push whatever vertebrae is still on that wall. So really push yourself backwards with that upper back. You're not going to go anywhere, but it's just a good hinge point. Come back up. Looks good, looks good. All right, guys, we got 1 more. Nice and smooth. Do a quick check-in. Where are your shoulders at? Are they down or are they in shrug mode? Good. Come back up. Excellent. All right, guys, now we're going to get what's called the shoulder card with a hinge. So card, he's going to basically take his shoulder to its greatest range of motion, basically utilizing not only extension, flexion, internal, external rotation. We're always going to be mindful of where our scapula is. So we're going to get into this real quick with him getting into a hinge. He's going to start with his right arm, so you can use his left arm to kind of get stable here. He's going to slowly start to come up, own that position. He's going to come out, and now he's going to start to wind it up. So Chris, go ahead and come on here. Slide to your left. Perfect right there. So let's get into that hinge position. So he's going to hinge, stick his butt out. He's nice and stable with his left arm. So right now, he's got a straight line between the top of his head and his butt. Try to keep this, because as you start to move, things are going to want to help kind of compensate. Don't let anything else move. So we're going to start to brace our abs, radiate some tension. Take your right hand, make a karate chop hand, and we're going to slowly come up toward the ceiling until we hit our roadblock. That's good right there. Now Chris has got excellent range. So you can see he's basically almost in line with his ear. That is excellent. If you're down here, that's totally fine. Don't freak out. Just go to where you feel safe. You're going to hit this roadblock. Now we're going to imagine we have a little X drawn right here on the inside of this elbow. We're going to swoop out, and we're going to start to turn that elbow over. That's what causes our shoulder to rotate. Once I can't rotate anymore, I'm still going backwards, backwards, backwards. Keep going, keep going. He's going to own that position. Now he's going to come down. Set that scapula a little bit. Pause right here at the hip, and now we're going to go back. So we're still in that internal rotation. That X is still pointed this way. He can't go anymore, so now he's going to unwind that shoulder, coming up over the top, return to that overhead position, and now back down. And that's 1, guys. Now that should be exhausting. Your shoulder should be pretty good on fire right now. And now let's go back for 4 more. Nice and slow. Hit your roadblock. Start the winding drill. Good, he's turning that elbow over. Turning it, turning it, turning it. Trying to squeeze out as much internal rotation. Pull that scap down. He's still winding, trying to squeeze out every little bit. And now come on down, pause, and go right back up. Now, when you guys are doing this, if you start to feel anything kind of pinchy, go around the pinch. You might not have access to this up here. You might have to come out to the side, and that's totally okay. But whatever you have access to, we need to develop control in there. Trying to squeeze out more rotation. You always got a little bit more. Good. Excellent. Come back up. Now the reason why we tell people to think about the little X here is that the elbow rotates. That means the shoulder is rotating. Some people think they rotate their hand over. That's coming from the shoulder, and that's not. That's coming from your elbow. We want to create as much shoulder rotation as humanly possible. Set that scap. Good. Coming back and down. Squeezing out more, more, more. Excellent. Come down. Back up. And if you need to take a break, guys, in between, your low back starts getting a little tired, you can come on up, reset, and get back in that position. All right, last one. Find that good end range, and now swoop and wind up. Turn that elbow over. Keep turning it, turning it, turning it, turning it. We're winding up that shoulder, create as much rotation as we can. Excellent. Come down, back up, and over. First time you guys ever do a shoulder bar, it's going to feel very strange. Just go slow. All right, let's spin around. Let's do that left. All right, find that good hinge position. Right hand on the right knee. And let's begin with the left arm. And begin. Nice and smooth. Find the in range. And now start to wind it up. Wind it, wind it, wind it, wind it, wind it. The second we start to come off of our head out to the side, that's when we start our winding up of that shoulder. Back up. Good. Keep trying to create length. Getting high up. Good. Setting that step. Perfect. And down. All right, 4 more, guys. Good. Keep turning it. Keep turning it over. Keep turning it over. Keep turning it over. When your hand's behind you, it's almost like you're holding a glass here. That's kind of what you want to think about. Come down. And back up. Whatever your favorite beverage of choice is, that's what you want to kind of think about when you get to that back position. I'm set with my scap and I'm holding that glass behind me. 2 more. Good. Do a quick little check-in, guys. Where's the rest of our body at? Have we rotated our torso up to the ceiling? Are we keeping everything perfectly still? We want to make this only about the shoulder, not about anything else. Good. Excellent. Unwind, unwind. Good. And down. 1 more. Back over the top. Keep winding, keep winding, keep winding. Excellent. And down. And back it up. Awesome. All right, guys. Now we're going to get what's called seated thoracic rotation. So we're going to have a chair, bench, whatever you got. Chris, go ahead and have a seat. We're going to use a yoga block to squeeze between your knees, but honestly, you guys can use a pillow, a towel, a blanket, even a pair of sneakers, whatever you got. Squeeze tight. It's just another way to help us create tension. So we're going to start by sitting up nice and tall. We're going to put our hands on our shoulder just like we did with the peel-offs on the wall. And now we're going to get back into that forward-fold position. So right now, if you do this properly, your low back should still be perpendicular to the ground, and your upper back slowly folded over. And now we're going to start to work on rotation. So rotation takes place in this forward fold position. So he's rotating their sternum to the right. We should feel a nice stretch here on the left, engagement on the right, and now we're going to slowly rotate back to the left. And we're just going to go 5 each direction, guys, alternating between. Just go slow. Try not to unfold or fold even more. Just kind of stay exactly where you are. And if you start to feel kind of below your ribs, that means you're starting to use your hip to rotate. We just want to keep it all in that thoracic region, kind of up here. A good kind of mental cue is those old school heart rate monitors that we wear around our sternum. That's kind of the line that we're trying to attack. So if I go this way and I start to feel all down here, that means I've gone too far and I've started to tilt. So keep it all in that heart rate monitor. Nice and slow, squeeze that in range. Make sure you guys can breathe. If you get to your in range and you can't take a deep breath, you have no business being there, all right? So back off a smidge. Nice and smooth, that looks great. Do a quick check-in with your shoulders. Are they up around your ears? Are they nice and down? Good. Let's finish up 1 more each way. And nice and smooth. Own that position and come on out. All right, guys, now we're gonna get on the floor for 90-90. It's a bear movement pattern. So we're gonna take a 90-90 position. So we're gonna have Chris go over here with his, you're gonna have your left leg facing this way. This guy's gonna be in this. I got this guy parallel to this guy, and this is gonna be our start 90-90 position. What we're gonna do is we're gonna transfer slowly to our right side, and the point of this drill is to get our hips as much internal and external rotation as possible. Now, if this position is too much for you, just get your hands further behind your back. That's going to take some tension off those hips, because most of the time, the first time people get into this, there's a lot of tension in this back hip. So ease into this pattern. So we're going to slowly start to keep this guy down as long as we can, and he's going to lift the right knee up, pivoting on that toe. So we're trying to create as much space between this knee and that knee. We've reached an end range. He can no longer keep this left leg down, and now he's going to slowly pick up the left. We're going to try to keep as much space in between the knees, nice and smooth. We're going to freeze right here. See if you can create a little bit more space. And now try to get this right knee on the ground, keeping your left knee as wide as you possibly can. Once you get it down to the ground, slowly roll the left knee over. And you'll notice we're right back into the other 90-90 position. Take your left hand off the ground, start to rotate that way. That way we get a little bit more stretch. We're gonna feel a whole lot of stuff going on here, guys. And if you've never been a 90-90, this might be a little aggressive. Take your time and go slow. Now we're gonna work our way back. So he's gonna come back with the left arm, start to come back, get a good base. He's picking the left leg up, trying to keep your right leg down as much as possible. When you can't keep it down, slowly come up. Create space between the knees. Keep going. Let's do a quick little pause. See if you can create a little bit more space. Now start to get your left knee on the ground. Excellent. And now slowly roll that right knee toward the ground. Good. And now take your right hand over. You can reach a little bit. Spend time here, play here, whatever. This just feels really good. That was one rep, guys. We're gonna do 2 more now, all right? So, once again, right arm comes back. Keep that left knee down. Act like you're crushing something down underneath your left knee. So I'm actively pushing. He's having to resist so he can get as much range as possible. He can't get any more. Now we let the left leg come to the party. Good. Let's do a quick little check here. Freeze. See if we can create more space. Let's get that right knee on the ground now. And slowly roll the left leg in. You notice how slowly we're going, guys. Speed hides need. So if you start to whip through this stuff, you're not really getting anything out of that, okay? You need to go slow, figure out where your sticky points are, and then we can start to make some changes in our body. Nice and smooth. Create that space. Good. Knee starts to come up. Do a quick check-in. Make sure we got a nice width between the knees. Get that left knee on the ground, and roll that right hip over. Looks good. Another thing you guys can do is if you have like a bumper plate or like a really big pillow, if you have your person sit on that, it gets you a little bit higher off the ground. Doing that tends to take a little tension off the hips, so if this is way too aggressive and you can't feel comfortable, it's kind of like a little booster seat. Put it underneath your butt and then redo this and you're gonna feel a little bit more comfortable. So right now we should be feeling a whole lot of fun stuff in our hip sockets. You'll notice we're getting wider in our knees. Good. All right, let's bring it on home. Let's come back to the left. Good, nice and smooth. Create that space. Excellent. Slow, come through, and reach. Good job. All right, guys, so now we're gonna go through all that again. We're gonna do the lumbar cars this time standing up. So we're gonna have Chris rise. He's gonna face the left wall. So he's gonna put his hands on his legs and he's gonna slowly get into that hinge position. So you can either do this here or if you felt more comfortable, you can put your hands on a chair. I know this is gonna look really weird, but he's gonna rotate that pelvis. So right now he's stuck. From here down is what's moving, freeze. And now he's gonna come back and he's gonna create that swoop. Good, right there. The more you can control your lumbar, the better off your lower back's gonna be, all right? We don't want our lower back to rotate all that much, but we need to be able to have it to flex and extend, just like he's having to do right now. Nice and smooth. Now he's got really good control here. Nice and smooth. It's gonna feel like, almost like it's skipping like an old school CD player because you haven't done this before. Nice and smooth, just keep at it. And if this doesn't feel comfortable, it's totally fine. Just get back on the ground. Keep doing it from your backside, no worries. But eventually you wanna progress to where you can do this kind of thing from any position you want. Good. One more. Nice and smooth. And now let's go all the way the other way. And let's just get a pause right here. So you should feel a big stretch kind of running down here. You're definitely in your hamstrings. Good. Make sure you're breathing. Everything's nice and good. And slowly come out of that, Chris. Good. Come on up. All right, let's get back on the wall for those thoracic peel-offs. So once again, we got about 6-8 inches away from the wall with our feet. We're gonna push everything up against the wall, hands on the shoulders, press the shoulders, tuck the chin a little bit, and we're gonna slowly peel off each vertebrae one by one. So we're developing that comfort of being in this forward fold position, which is gonna have a little carryover to that golf swing. Everything's nice and smooth. This is where everything takes place. So we need to have comfort and control here. Nice and smooth, pushing one vertebrae back, back, and back. Awesome, let's get 4 more, guys. Do a quick check-in. Where are your shoulders and where's your chin? Sometimes we'll think that we're getting a whole lot of flexion from our thoracic spine, but it's actually coming from our neck. Keep that neck nice and still. Nice and breathe. Act like you're crushing something. Whatever's in contact with the wall, you're pushing actively into that wall. Keep everything active and try to make it as smooth as possible. First couple times you do this, you're gonna kind of like skip a little bit. You're gonna get kind of lost in space. It's okay, just keep hacking away and it will get smoother. Good, good, good. Back up. All right guys, let's get this last one. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth. You should feel kind of your abs engaged, a nice big stretch running down the spine, and come back up. Awesome, all right, let's get back into that hinge position. So this time let's face the camera and back up a little bit. All right, let's get into the hinge. And now we're gonna do our shoulder part. Let's start with our left arm. So right hand's on the quad. If you feel like you need a little bit more support, you could always take a chair, put your right hand on that, whatever it's gonna do to get you a little bit base. Good, let's start the left hand. Let's come up, find our overhead position. We're going to freeze. And imagine that X is here. He's gonna swoop out. And now you're winding that elbow over. We're trying to turn it over, make that X go away. We keep winding, we set that shoulder, own that position. We're holding that glass, come down, and now back up, hit that roadblock. And now we want to unwind that elbow, getting that X back to where you can see that at the corner of our eye, and down. That's one. Let's get four more, guys. Good, nice and smooth. Rotate, rotate, rotate. The more your shoulder can rotate, the more it can do everything else. Most bang for your buck is trying to get as much rotation in this capsule. Same thing with the hip. That's why we do that 90-90. Good. Rotation is key, guys. Down. All right, let's get three more. Good. Winding that elbow over. Winding and over, winding and over. Good. Freeze right there. Push that head back over your spine. Excellent. And back up. So advanced as Chris is, his body's still wanting to always compensate. He wants to get everything else involved and come to the party. We want to just make sure it's only the shoulder joint that's coming. A lot of people will start to rotate their torso, the direction of the arm that's moving, trying to actually get a little bit more, but that's not what your shoulder is capable of. We're trying to isolate this shoulder joint, so when we ask you to play well with others, it does so. Good. All right, buddy, last one. Good, check in, make sure everything stays still, only use your shoulder. Good, winding, reaching, reaching, hold that glass, and down, and back up and over the top. Awesome job. All right, slide the chair over, let's get on that right. All right, set it in, make sure everything's nice and engaged, abs are tight, and let's go with that right arm. Now it's totally fine, guys, if you guys wanted to do this just standing up. You can even do it lying on your side. Figure out where it's most comfortable at. We're doing this position just to get us more comfortable in that hinge position, which is replicating the golf swing. But it's totally fine if you want to do it from other angles, just get your shoulder cards in. Nice and smooth, one up. That's good, turn that elbow over, wind it out. There we go, it's like we're winding that elbow over. Back up. Good. Let's stay solid, get tight, and let's go. So I'm putting my hand here to get him to understand that he's wanting to rotate and try to squeeze everything out. And see, now he's only using that shoulder. That's going to happen with you as well. So just kind of go slow. Sometimes seeing yourself in the mirror, you can kind of see what other things want to come to the party and just try to limit everything except for this guy. Good. Wind it up, wind it up. Keep going. Good, good, good. For most people, the first time they put their arm behind their back, you're gonna see it actually physically hop around because your body's just not comfortable being there, all right? Just keep putting in the work and eventually that skipping sensation will go away. Good, this last one, guys. Wind that shoulder up, good. Setting that scap, swooping back and around, and down, and back over the top. Awesome job. All right, so now we're gonna get back into a seated thoracic rotation. This time we're gonna show up to the side. So have a seat, squeeze the block between your knees. So now you're gonna see how much forward fold he's trying to create out of this. So right now his lumbar is perfectly straight up and down. We're gonna keep that. So he's gonna hinge from all these guys here. So he's going, he's going, he's going. Boom, that's his end range. If he tried to go more, he's gonna start to come from here, and we don't want that. We wanna be vertical, perfect. So he gets in that little bit of forward fold. Keep this guy steady, and now we're gonna rotate smooth, own that position. Squeezing here, and now he's going to come back to the left. So like I said earlier about that heart rate monitor, guys, don't let anything below the heart rate monitor come into play. Nice and smooth, and back around. Excellent. Our thoracic spine, which is everything from here up, it's meant to rotate. That's where rotation comes from. The vertebrae are all set in a certain way that it allows that to happen. If you don't have it coming from up here, that means it's going to have to come from somewhere else in the body, and that's usually why we have lower back pain with typical golfers. So he's rotating from his thoracic spine. That's where everything comes from. Looks good, looks good. Let's do a quick little check-in. Can we breathe from that end range? If you can't, back off a little bit. Come back around. Last one each way. Own it. And now back this way. Take a nice breath. Excellent. All right, hand me that block. Let's get back into that 90-90 to bear position. So, start facing to your left. So, he's got his left leg out in front of him. His right leg is in the trail. This guy's parallel to the front. We're sitting up nice and tall. We're all about creating space in between those knees. So, he's going to slowly start to try to pick that right knee up, keeping that left knee down. He's being active. He's crushing a weight scale underneath that left knee. He's going to get that right sit bone on the ground. And now slowly he's picking that left leg up, creating as much space. Good. We're starting to roll through. Check in, make sure we got space. Right knee gets down. And now slowly roll that left hip over, letting the left hand come out and around. Good. You can play here if you feel like it. Feel it feels good. He's going to reach. And now we're going to slowly take that left knee up. We're still driving this right knee down. Right now, I'm pushing up on him to keep him here. He's getting as much open as he can. He can't get any more. Now he's going to let that right knee come through. Nice and slow. Make sure you're taking breaths. Good. Rolling through. Now he's going to get that right knee down. And now let's do a quick little check-in. Make sure everything feels safe. We're driving both legs now down into the ground. And now we're going to slowly come back. So we got two more, guys. Nice and slow. Now, if you're watching this and not doing it yourself, this looks pretty simple. I guarantee you it is not. He's feeling a massive amount of tension in his hips, his abdominals, making sure he's breathing. Good. Between this, guys, and that thoracic rotation, these are two biggest bangs for your buck before you get on the course. So, I mean, you guys could even do this real quick at the house before you head out. Nice and smooth. Because our hips is where the other part of the rotation comes from. We obviously got the thoracic, which we've talked about, but it's also coming from those internal and external rotation of those hips. So we need hips rotating, we need thoracic rotating. Reach, reach, reach. All right, guys, last one. Nice and smooth, slow, slow, slow. Speed hides need, enjoy the suck. Get used to being uncomfortable. Nice and smooth. Good. Keep that knee wide, get that down, excellent. And now come on through with that left. Good, 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 good. Good job, man. Reach, reach, reach. All right, let's bring it back. Let's see how wide we can get that left knee out before we let him come to the party. Keep going, squeeze out a little bit more. And now let's go. Keep that wide, keep it wide, keep it wide. Good, creating that space in between. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And finish up. Do a quick little check-in. Roll around a little bit, feel that pelvis rotate, and come on up. Awesome job, my man. All right, guys, that wraps it up for today. Start adding mobility training to your golf routine on a regular basis. You can even do this right before you head out to the course, and you'll definitely feel a difference. We'll see you guys next time, and remember, be strong, be mobile.